Hello, Aquarius, and welcome to your August reading. Let's go ahead and get started here with an astrology card. So we have the 7th house of partners. Now, it is Leo season, for the first part of August. So we do have 7th house activation. So it makes sense that you may be dealing one-on-one with someone or a group of people, probably another person though. And it may or may not be romantic partners. It could be any type of relationship that you have. There might be some kind of dynamic going on or some type of event that occurs that the two of you have to either solve a problem together or really have deep and meaningful conversations about. Maybe there's some adjustments that need to be made. Either way, probably whatever it is you're doing is going to be dependent upon or co-created with another person. And, a lot of really good things can come out of this as long as both people are willing to really listen to one another, really hear one another, and make concessions accordingly to whatever needs to be done. Okay, it's very generic. Let's see if we can get more detail. But let's pull out another oracle card. So we have denial. I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with the insight of awareness. So maybe the partnership is going to be helpful in terms of the fact that it will help you reflect, and it will reflect things back to you, and you can reflect things back to another person as well. Sometimes that feedback loop is really, really important because we don't always see ourselves, we don't always see our lives, we don't always see our process all that clearly. And seeing it through the lens of another can be very beneficial. It can help change our perspective on things and help change our approach, especially if there's something that we're doing that's not working. Like, for example, let's say you're trying to, get this promotion or trying to earn more money or trying to land, bigger clients or whatever. And for some reason you haven't been able to do that. Well, getting feedback from another person, getting insight, getting advice from another person can maybe help you realize, maybe I can make this adjustment, or I can approach this differently, or I can communicate differently, so that I can actually manifest this thing that I'm wanting. So that can be very beneficial. But being in denial, being in a state of avoidance is not going to be helpful. And I think having someone there to bounce things off of can help prevent that. Okay, Aquarius, what else do you need to see? Even the 2 of Cups is coming through. So it's really, really important. These other people, even if it's just one other person, are an integral part of this story for you, Aquarius, this month. Okay? So I would lean on other people as much as you can, if I'm being honest with you. Like, don't shy away from these social interactions. Don't pull yourself back, because it's going to be helpful for you. And it's not a coincidence that the wish card, right? The card of wishes coming true, which is the 9 of Cups, is coming directly after that 2 of Cups. So it's like you have the interaction, you have the conversation, you have the heart to heart with someone, and it leads you exactly where you want to go. If you try to keep doing this all by yourself. Now, I love a 6 of Coins. There's a lot of reciprocity and give and take that happens here, but sometimes this can represent, in my mind anyway, a loop, being trapped in a loop and continually doing the same thing over and over and putting in the same amount of effort and getting the same thing back. So it's like you're doing the exact same things and you're not making the proper adjustments and you're getting the same results, but then you're asking yourself why you continue to get the same results. That's not really what you want. So this 2 of Cups, this partnership, this other person is going to be helpful for you to break out of that loop. But again, it's going to require deep communication. Now, when I say deep, it doesn't have to be like about the soul and your universe, right? It can be more like either behavioral or looking at the systems, because I think with Mercury in Virgo, like, this is a really technical kind of placement. Mercury retrograde in Virgo. Yes, it willed it back into Leo, but I think the essence of the Mercury retrograde is going to be more Virgo-esque, if you will, okay? In that when it comes to the systems and the habits and the routine and the logistics and the routines of everything that we have, there's something problematic in there that maybe you're overlooking. So again, when I say a deep conversation, it's not really about you, like fundamentally who you are. It's more about what you do. It's about how your life is set up. It's about the actions that you're taking, the way you're spending your time, the things that you're investing in, so having this other person reflect that back to you, it's going to be illuminating. And I think you'll see the missing link and you'll be like, oh, okay, that's what's going on. That's what the issue is. That's what the problem is. That's why I haven't been able to cross this bridge yet. That's why I haven't been able to manifest this other thing yet, because I'm trapped in this loop. Okay. And the Nine of Cups, again, is that suggestion that your wishes will come true, and that if you take the guidance and take the advice, now chances are this Two of Cups person, this partnership person, is someone that you respect, and they do hold some level of authority in your life. It's not just any regular Joe Schmo off the street, okay? There's some degree of like mutual understanding with one another. So it's not like you're taking advice from someone who doesn't know what they're talking about, or from someone who hasn't done it themselves, So there does seem to be some level of experience and authority coming from that person. So it may or may not be someone you're intimate with, right? It may be someone with whom you have a professional relationship. Okay. I love to see the World card because it does indicate the changeover, that there is some type of threshold that Aquarius is crossing over. Now, the World card is not a fast card, and it doesn't normally happen on the blink of an eye. Okay, it usually takes time for you to carry over from one place to the next, from one realm of existence into the next. And there's no pressure with the World card. It's not like this heavy, intense, urgent card. It's just like, hey, Aquarius, you're evolving. And sometimes it can be a very quiet transition that happens. To me, this feels very quiet. To me, this feels like Aquarius is, slowly but surely taking the advice that they are given, taking it seriously, implementing it, learning along the way, and kind of slowly making that connection of like, oh, I understand why I have to do this now. I understand why it had to be that way and not the way I was doing it. It's kind of like when you have been, let's say you're like a golfer. You like to play golf, okay? And you've been swinging and holding your club in a specific way for years and years and years and years. And then you decide, you know what? I want to improve my game a little bit. I'm going to hire a coach. So you hire a coach and they make some little tweaks in the way that you swing, in the way you distribute your weight, in the way your hips, move, in the way you hold your club. And teeny tiny little tweaks that can make all the difference in your game. And all of a sudden now, I'm not a golfer, so I don't really know all the terminology, but all of a sudden now you're hitting better, you're, hitting par. Again, I don't know all the terminology. That was maybe not a good example, but you know what I mean. All of a sudden it's working, okay? And yet it'll probably not feel very intuitive because it's like, well, I've been holding my club this way the whole time, and now you're asking me to hold it a little bit differently and to swing a little bit differently. Like it doesn't feel that comfortable yet, So I think that World card is kind of that process of acclimating and kind of getting used to the new way of doing things. But with the Nine of Coins, it tells me that Aquarius is, I don't know, it's like you definitely feel ready to be in this place of prosperity and abundance, a higher degree of prosperity and abundance. You're ready for the next level. You're ready for what comes next. You're ready to have more money, more comfort, more ease, more leisure. And so you're willing to put up with that discomfort. You're willing to change the way you play the game because the Nine of Coins is important to you. It matters because I think maybe with Pluto coming into your sign, I know it's leaving. Now, technically on September 1st, and I know this is the August reading, But September 1st, not only do we have Pluto moving back into Capricorn, but Pluto back into Capricorn, but we also have Uranus stationing retrograde. So September 1st is like a really big day. Okay, so by the end of August, we're going to feel like this turnover truly happening. And with Pluto in your sign and going back and forth, so many times between last year and this year, I wouldn't be surprised if Aquarius was thinking about kind of their own mortality, not to be morbid about it, but you're thinking of your own mortality and you're thinking of like, I'm not going to be in this life forever. I'm not going to be, my time here will end eventually. And there are things I want to accomplish when I'm here. There are things I want to experience while I'm here. And I don't want my life to look like this for the rest of my life. So maybe you are thinking a little bit about that final exit and how quickly time slips through our fingers, how quickly time can just pass, And so it does feel like, you are ready because there is that sense of like, it's kind of now or never. You really do need to do it now because you'd rather experience it sooner rather than later. And if you wait, then you're just delaying it for no purpose at all, So this does matter. The higher degrees of prosperity, the higher degrees of wealth, the higher degrees of comfort and ease, it matters. So that's why I think you are taking this advice so seriously, why it's so, you're taking it to heart. This feels like a month where Aquarius is genuinely changing. Your heart is opening to new ideas and to, as a fixed sign, this is a monumental moment. Now, I'm not saying you're not able to change. You are a human being, right? No matter what your zodiac sign is, you can change. But there is a little bit of stubbornness that comes with a fixed sign. That's kind of the nature of a fix. And I would say that to my Leos, my Scorpios, my Taurians, and my Aquarians. It just kind of comes with the territory. And you can get very comfortable in your way of life. And this feels like one of those moments where you are getting uncomfortable and the change is necessary. And this is big. This is like moving mountains for a fixed sign. So this does feel important. And I look at this Knight of Swords. Now, I feel like the Knight of Swords could be a person. I don't think it's you. I'm not getting the worst feeling in the world from my Knight of Swords, but it does feel a little bit like a nuisance. Like there is something nipping at your heels. Now, this feels very reminiscent of several months ago. I don't remember when exactly, but there were a bunch of readings that came out with this theme that was like, there's something that's kind of nagging at you, something that's kind of bothering you that you have to take care of. And I'm kind of sensing that that's showing up for you right now. It's like your unfinished projects, so your financial issues that you have, the people that you work with, whatever it is, it feels like something is on your back. It's breathing down your neck. It's micromanaging you. It's like it's not letting you ease up. And it does feel like there's pressure from this. I don't know that there's pressure from anything else, but this is maybe kind of pushing you from behind. And it's like you really do not want to continue. Like, let's say it is a financial thing. I like to use money because it's just like a super easy thing for most people to understand. Like maybe this is a debt, or it's a tax issue or a credit card situation or is an income problem. Okay. And it continues to like every month it comes up and every month it's a stressor and every month you have to think about it. You always have to talk about it. And it always is like this thing that's constantly present in your life. And I think this is something from which you wish to be free. And maybe that's what the advice is really all about, is how to get free from this thing that is nipping at your heels, that is constantly chasing you down and you cannot seem to outrun. Okay? And this may be the moment where you finally draw the line and you say, I am so sick of being here. I will literally do anything to get myself out. I will do anything to get off of this plateau and transcend this position that I've been in for a long time. I'm going to transcend this loop that I have created. All right, because this does not seem to be, it's not going anywhere from you doing what you continue to do. You have to fundamentally change in order to get this off your back. Okay? Yeah, let's see what else comes out. Let's see. I love the World. I love Judgment because it does feel like an epiphany. Like Aquarius is having this like incredibly illuminating experience of like, oh my gosh, I get it now. I understand it now. It wasn't nearly as hard as I thought it was going to be, because nothing in these cards at all, nothing here suggests that it is hard. It just needs to be done, right? It's like a project that you have that you keep putting off, and you kind of make it up in your head as it's being this whole big deal. But then when you finally get your hands into it, you're like, this was not a big deal at all. Why did I procrastinate on this? Because this actually does feel like a product of procrastination, if you ask me. You've been procrastinating, trying to get away from this, and somehow you've just been weirdly comfortable allowing that Knight of Swords to keep knocking on your door all the time. You know, you just got comfortable with that. What just came to my mind? I cannot tell you how many like little TikTok videos I have seen where you can hear the little fire, like smoke detector chirping, like they need to replace the batteries. Like, I cannot fathom how people can sit in their house and let that thing chirp like that. And that's what it feels like to me. It's like the chirping of the smoke detector. Like you need to change the battery. You need to do something about it. And yet you sit there and you just let it chirp all day and all night. And you just let it do what it needs to do for days on end or weeks on end or whatever. And how easy of a task it is to just replace the batteries, right? That's what it feels like. It's like, it's so easy. Just do the thing, okay? And it's like, but it does feel like there's some kind of illuminating experience. And I don't know why the denial, I don't know why the avoidance and the procrastination has kept you in this loop. I'm not seeing the deeper reasons in these cards. And I'm not here to speculate for like an entire group of thousands of people. But like clearly you've been avoiding this for some reason, but this is your chance to not avoid it. And again, I think having someone push that back to you and be like, hey, Aquarius, you are avoiding this. You are running away and you are only harming yourself, because what you're doing is you are denying yourself the 9 of Coins lifestyle. And you're denying yourself the opportunities that can come in from you being at the 9 of Coins. Because when you're at that 9 of Coins, it's very affluent, right? And it can easily attract, very easily. It easily manifests. Like it's not hard to manifest when you're in the 9 of Coins. Okay, like when you have a big pile of money, it's a lot easier to attract more money because you understand that frequency, right? When you are, it's like when you're in a relationship, it's easy for you to go out and find another relationship because you're already kind of in that vibe. You're in that energy, right? So it's easy for you to do that. So that's all. You're just denying yourself being at that place by continuing to procrastinate. Now, the 6 of Cups, I'm sorry, I'm pausing because I'm getting like 10 different things in my head about what this could be. Because it's feeling very, hold on, let me just clarify it. I don't normally do this, and I'm going to pull out more clarifiers, but okay. Because it was giving me kind of an aggressive feeling, like I wasn't feeling very settled with the 6 of Cups. It wasn't like rainbows and roses, you know? It feels like there is something from your past that you have been fighting, Seven of Wands, something you have been pushing against that has caused you to be in this loop. And I think you've been hiding from this, and this is your moment to confront it. To confront whether maybe it's like a feeling, maybe it's a guilt or a shame. Like maybe you have guilt and shame around being at the Nine of Coins, being at that level of prosperity and comfort. You know, maybe you have some narratives of like, oh, I have to work really hard, or life has to be a struggle, or something along those lines. And only you can really determine what that is. But it's like you've had this narrative that was passed down to you that is like ingrained in every vessel of your body. And it's been living out. It's been living out in your real life. And maybe that's also a part of what has been nipping at your heels. So by you making these adjustments, even though they are small adjustments, because I don't see you doing, it's not like this huge thing, okay? It just is like small little adjustments here and there based on advice and feedback that you're getting from someone else. And that is you tackling the root of the problem. That's you pushing back against the fear and the shame and the guilt and saying, I'm not going to feel those things, and I'm not going to let those things rule my life anymore because the Nine of Coins is too important for me. And I think there's something else coming through as a theme this month as well. The more successful you are, the more helpful you can be for the rest of the world. The more money you have, the more money you can fund back into the community. The more confident you are, the more likely you are to help and advise someone else, right? There are so many benefits to helping yourself, right? Because it leaves a legacy. Because the more successful you are, the more you can help lift other people up. This is not a selfish act. And sometimes we perceive that Nine of Coins as being very selfish. We perceive it as being greedy or whatever. And it's completely not that way. Okay, this is going to make you more of who you are. And if you're already an amazing person, Nine of Coins level abundance is just going to make you even that much more of an amazing person because you will be able to give so much more. And this is important because as we move into this new era, there are a lot, Pluto and Aquarius era, right? There are a lot of people that are going to need help being lifted up. Okay, and so I'm kind of sensing the universe is using you as a vessel here, but you have to get to the point where you can be used as a vessel. And that's why these adjustments need to be made. That's why you have to get out from underneath the boot of this Knight of Swords, right? Because it kind of feels like it has its boot on your neck a little bit. It's holding you down. It's holding you back. And you have to kind of push against that in order to get yourself to the place where you can be of real assistance. And I'm not saying you're not already of real value, but you know what I mean. And where you can really start to receive more and more opportunities. And actually, not only do I see you, Aquarius, receiving these opportunities, but I also see you doling those out, being the one to give opportunities to others. Okay? All right. Big reading, but we're going to clarify this. Okay, so we're going to talk for another 25 to 30 minutes about all these cards. We're going to pull out a whole bunch and we're going to really get a lot more deep into this. So maybe we'll get a little bit more information about some of these things, specifically the Knight of Swords. We'll see what comes out. But if you want to join, the link for the comprehensive is in the description box in the comment thread down below. So take a look. Hopefully you'll join. Let's go ahead and see what comes through with the Six of Coins. What does Aquarius need to know? Six of Coins, your social circle, very relevant here. There might be a change in your social circle. That might be a necessity. Okay, Two of Cups. Love the Six of Swords, Two of Coins. Another Six of Coins. We have Justice. Nine of Wands. Another Seven of Wands. None of this, like I say, it's not really all that hard. It's like changing the batteries. It's not that hard, but it needs to be done. Chariot. I love it. The Magician and the Knight of Cups. King of Cups. Three of Wands, Knight of Swords. Again, I'm going to pull out another card just since we got the Knight of Swords twice and the Seven of Swords. Beautiful Wheel of Fortune. Love to see that. We've got the Lovers. We've got Six of Wands. The Tower. Eight of Coins. And another World card. Last but not least, Queen of Swords, Queen of Wands, and 10 of Cups. Beautiful. All right, so this is where we're going to pick up in the comprehensive. So if you want to join, you're absolutely more than welcome. Thank you all so much, Aquarius. Have an amazing August, and I'll talk to you soon.